Just the 4 competitions ready for us this season for our Youth Academy Challenge with Pogon over in Poland. And we are in the Champions League qualifying rounds. We're also in the Polish Super Cup where we will be playing Legia. This is Season 2, which means this is the first season where we have to lock in players who have come through our youth intakes. And I've got 2 players in mind I think we might pick, but we're not going to find out exactly who they are until we get to September, because obviously we've got a bit of a transfer window first to go through. A transfer window that we have £7.6 million to spend. Our wage budget last year, by the way, was £70,000. We've gone up to £125,000. So there's been a massive surge of money. I'm going to assume prize money has probably played a huge part of this. So we've gone up to £12 million in the bank. At the start of the save, we had just under £2 million in the bank. So a massive, massive surge of money has come into the club. We are going to be asking the board as well in the next couple of months to try and improve all of our facilities. So youth facilities, youth recruitment, junior coaching budget and various things like that. As you can see, I've already tried the youth recruitment facilities and the recruitment, obviously, and they've been rejected, but we have increased our junior coaching budget at the moment. We are going to continue to ask the questions because obviously if you don't ask, you don't get. So we're going to do that all throughout up until September, and then we'll leave it until next year. So hopefully we can get another one through the books and get a bit of improvement. What can we get? I mean, I'd love improved training facilities. Even though the transfer window is open, so far no business has taken place. We have brought in nobody. We have got rid of nobody. If we have a look at the release players, we have got a bunch of people there, but if I'm perfectly honest, I don't know who any of them are, so it's not the end of the world. We are going to have to do some business, though, because I don't think we have a goalkeeper anymore. Yeah, this guy's our number 1. He's very eccentric, and that's about it. Right, we're going to jump forward then to September. To the end of the transfer window, we're going to see what transfer business we have done. Remember, I can sign goalkeepers of any age, but I can't sign outfield players older than 21. So let's see what we've done. 1 player has joined the club, and that is all of the transfer business we have done. And that is Robert Ferrero, who has signed from DAM in Spain, a team that you really do need to check out. For some reason, in Season 1, they get a decent youth intake, and then no other seasons after that seem to get anything good, but DAM so far have had a good youth intake, but this is the only player that we picked up from them at the moment. He's cost just £7,000. I say at the moment because Jose Maria Salguero is also going to be joining because he's a Filipino goalkeeper. I don't know if he's any good. He doesn't look terrible, does he? He is going to join on the 1st of February by the looks of it, 2025, so we're obviously not going to see that until when it kind of rolls around till April, I guess. But yeah, Salguero is also joining, and I'm keeping an eye on all of their other players, like Miguel Angel Tabella, who looks like a pretty decent central defender at just 15, Mark Idris, who is a 16-year-old central midfielder, and Ricard Mora, who's also a 16-year-old central midfielder. So I'm keeping an eye on these players because I feel like they're going to be good. I think that's literally their entire youth intake, and I might steal all of them. Yeah, they brought in 5 players, and I might take every single one of them. Before we talk about the actual players that we are locking in, remember, 2 players from our youth intake last season will be locked into the squad this season. We have already won a trophy this season, beating Legia 2-0 in the Super Cup. We did get knocked out of the Champions League against Ludogorets in a ridiculous battle, which ended up being 8-6 in favour of Ludogorets, which dropped us down into the Europa League. And little old Pogon there right at the bottom are in the Europa League for this season. So I'm hoping we can do well. I'm not expecting to win it, obviously, but if we can get out of the group stages, that will be a good start. In the Ekstraklasa, 7 games have been played, and we have lost just 1 of them. We've got a positive 17 goal difference, 18 points on the board, currently top of the table, just 2 points clear of second place Lech, 3 points clear of Rakow, and 4 points clear of Ruk and Slask. Almost certainly not how you pronounce their names. If we have a look at the season preview as well, we're still expected to finish down in 4th place, which, again, I feel like maybe last season was a bit of a fluke. If we can win the league again, we'd obviously be very good, but 4th place seems fine. I'm okay with being top 4. Getting into Europe is fine at the moment. So the players we are locking in for Season 2, obviously 2 of them have come through our youth intake, and we are picking Gorolowski and we are picking Baniak. First of all, let's take a look at Gorolowski. Yes, he's more of a central midfielder, but we have been training him over the summer, and he's already played quite a few games. In fact, 14 matches in all competitions in that attacking midfield role, and at 15, he's worth 1.2 to 2.4 million pounds. Goralski is basically going to be playing every single game for maybe the next 9 years, and I'm hoping the same thing can be said for Gregors Baniak, who is now 16. He has now been fully trained as a left-back. his numbers are flying up. I'm not sure whether this is just me thinking they are because of the arrows, but I'm almost certain he's getting a lot better pretty quickly. So it is going to be Baniak and it is going to be Goralski in the forced starting 11. But we do still have, if we have a look at our squad, we've got Wisniewski, might be his name. He's in the first team. So my assistant manager can decide to play him if he wants. And Christoph Mucha also is in the first team, and it was very close between Baniak and Mucha, who I was going to lock in, because Mucha, I think, if we can put him on that left-hand side, might be good. This is also very good, because if next season, or this season, we have a poor intake, we can just play Mucha, Baniak, and Goralski, and we've got our 3 players locked in for Season 3. So I'm happy we've got 3 players who I think are good enough to play for us now. I do just need to point out my assistant manager is, it's Dennis Bergkamp. We did appoint him last summer. Completely forgot to mention it. So yeah, Bergkamp is our assistant manager. He's actually going to be taking control of most matches. Our head of youth development right now is Darius Adamczuk, who is a person I've heard of. He used to play for Wigan and Rangers and Dundee. That's probably why I've heard of him, because he's played in the UK. He is our head of youth development and director of football. So maybe over the course of this season, I might try and replace him with a dedicated head of youth development. We will see how things go. The final thing to mention, we have actually managed to convince the board to improve the youth recruitment. So we've got the junior coaching budget up at the start of the season, and then literally a few days later, the youth recruitment was also improved. So we are making progress on our objectives to turn Pogon into one of the best teams in the world, technically, to be producing youth players. We are already at excellent youth recruitment, which is good. Everything else is good academy, good youth facilities, and good training facilities. We need to work on getting those up as well. We are now going to jump forward then to the 1st of April, to the other side of our youth intake, to see how well things have gone. If we can stay top of the table as well, that would be lovely. For the second straight year, we have had an excellent intake. We've got 4 players who are considered elite talents. 1 player is a top talent who I've not marked with a star, because I'm thinking 4 players is probably enough per youth intake. Let's take a look then. We've got Mateusz Wolski first up, 16 years of age, central defender. This is good. We've got a defender coming through. 6'1", left-footed. Could he be retrained to be a left-back? Maybe. I think arguably more of a centre-back with his 11 heading and his, 6 or 8 crossing, sorry. So maybe he's more of a central defender. But Wolski could be useful in a couple of years' time. Next up, we have Sebastian Wilk, our first striker to come through, 15 years of age already, with 14 finishing and 13 first touch. That's actually quite good. Problem is, we only play 1 striker, and I don't think he's necessarily good enough to play that role at the moment. Maybe in a couple of years' time, Season 4, Season 5, something like that, maybe Wilk could be getting in there. We've got another youngster on the right-hand side. It is Tomas Kostrabala, who is 15 years of age. They're all, I don't know why I'm telling you their age. You can see he's 15. He's either 15 or 16. He doesn't look amazing. 1.5-star current ability. He's not particularly fast, but he does have lots of 7s and 8s in his attributes. 16 determination could be very good. 16 natural fitness as well is actually quite an important thing for a winger who's going to be doing lots of running. And finally, we have Marek Galansky, who is a right winger, maybe left, maybe attacker midfielder. He's very good physically. Lots of 7s, 8s, and 9s, or 6, 7s, 8s, and 9s in his technical. So he needs a lot of training to get those up to looking really good. But there's a lot of high-ish numbers there, bearing in mind he is 15. So of those players that have come through, highest hope, I'd say, is possibly Wilk and Kostrabala. I think Kostrabala. I don't know why. It's that determination that's kind of throwing me, but I'm going to go with Kostrabala. Might be the best player coming out of that youth intake. If we have a very quick look at the first team, we've got Baniak, who has played 39 times so far. Goralski has got 15 goals in 40 appearances. When it comes to the competition, we've dropped down to 2nd place in the Extraclasa. We are, 6 points behind Legia. Not ideal. We've been knocked out of the Champions League, which we know. Been knocked out of the Europa League in the league phase, which is, it's not ideal, that one. How bad were we? We did win twice. We beat Maribor and Shakhtar. We drew against Astana and lost against Rennes, Rangers, Rapid, Ferencvaros and Panathinaikos. So, yeah, I mean, I'm kind of okay with that. It's our first real season playing in Europe, so that's fine. We've also been knocked out of the Polish FA Cup, so we're not going to win that 10 times in a row. I do want to win the league now. I feel like we should be able to win the league. We've won it in Season 1. We should be able to win it in Season 2. And with that in mind, let's jump forward to find out whether we can win it in Season 2. No, we can't. We were not far away, just 3 points behind Legia, so we finished 2nd place. It means we're in the Europa Conference League, I guess? Rakow in the Europa League? I don't understand why that's worked, but okay, fair enough. We finished second and are now in the third tier competition in Europe. If we finished on 77 last season, 80 points is the kind of the target then, I guess, to win the league. 77, not too far away. Taking a look at the two players that we've locked in. First of all then, Grzegorz Baniak, 17 years of age now, turned 17 on the 22nd of February. He's getting pretty good. In fact, I think he's getting very good. He's now a fully complete natural left back, which is what we want to see. Physically getting up there with some nice decent numbers, 14s for acceleration, agility, balance and stamina. Technically could do with a bit more work, but at 17 years of age, those are the ones that we can they can develop quite well over time, so I'm okay with that. Baniak has also got 13 assists in all competitions, 11 of them coming in the Ekstraklasa. And Goralski has had a ridiculously good year, and he's turning into a very good player. He's still only 16. He's going to turn 17 in December. So he's got a long, long way to go before he even turns 17 and can actually sign a proper contract. He's worth 2 million to 3.5 million. All of his numbers are flying up as well. Mentally, he looks very, very good. 18 goals in all competitions, 6 assists as well, 12 goals in the Ekstraklasa. I want to do the comparison. Can we do the comparison with, what's his name? It's Vahan, that's his name. They're similar. Arguably, it's a sensible decision to play Goralski now, right? Vahan is mildly better when it comes to physical. They're on par when it comes to mental. In fact, I'd argue Goralski's got some better mental numbers, because do we really care about bravery? For an attacking midfield, maybe you might care about that one, but do we really care too much about off the ball? It's only one anyway. It's fine. I'm happy that Goralski is turning into a better player. Tactically, technically, that's the word. It's definitely Goralski. It's not Goralski. What I'm on about is Vahan, but Goralski he's better in certain places, isn't he? Technique, he's better. He's better in first touch. He's actually got a better free kick, which doesn't make too much difference. I'd say Vahan probably just edges it, but Goralski is not too far away, and he's only 16. The other two players as well who came through in the first intake have managed to get off the bench a couple of times. So Mucha played a total of 5 games, 4 of them off the bench, scoring a goal and getting an assist in the Polish FA Cup. Wisniewski as well has played 2 starts and 2 off the bench, also scoring a goal in the Polish FA Cup. He's a centre-back. Was he always a centre-back? I feel like has he been retrained to be a centre-back? Or am I just forgetting that he was a centre-back? Other players worth mentioning, we've got Kuluris, who was actually, I believe, out on loan maybe last season. He's come in, scored 10 goals in just 12 starts, which is very good to see. We have got Prosborik, might be his name. He was the guy we locked in Season 1. He's getting ridiculous. He's also got 11 goals, 7 assists. The other guy who we locked in Season 1 has managed to get 13 goals and 6 assists. We've got Vahan there, 15 and 10. And then we've got Goralski, second top goal scorer, and Lukasavic, number 1 goal scorer with 23 goals and 6 assists. Sorting by assists, we've got Kutris, who has done another very, very good season. I fear he's going to leave at some point, and it's not even going to be for a lot of money, but 10 assists is good for Kutris. Ulvestad has also done well, 8 goals, 10 assists. He's probably at the point where we need to sell him, because he's just about to turn 33. We can see Vahan is also there with his 10 assists. We've got Valkvist as a right back, picking up 10 assists and 4 goals as well. Benedikt Zek, I'm going to assume, picked up most of those assists, maybe playing as a right back? Where were you playing? You were playing as a right back and the centre back. Okay. I mean, Zek is 34. Why are you still at my club? Why did I not sell you? The final thing to look at then, star performers, Valkvist is our best player of the season. And then we've got João Gamboa playing in that defence midfield role, getting a 7.1 across all competitions. We've got Bartos, who is our number 1 goalkeeper. He's not our number 1 goalkeeper, is he? Who's our number 1? Stipika? Is that his name? I think he was out on loan last year, and he was in our second tier team. We promoted him to the first tier team. He's let in 74. He's 34 years of age. We might need a new goalkeeper. And speaking of, Jose Maria Salguero, that's his name, the Filipino goalkeeper signed from Dam. He's played once off the bench and kept a clean sheet. That's going to do it then for Season 2. Season 3 will begin, and we must pick 3 players who have come through our youth intakes. And I think we've got probably 5 players that we could play. We are most likely, I'm not saying we're going to, but we're probably going to stick with Baniak and Goralski, so we need to pick 1 more player to go into our starting 11 for Season 3.